Hello, I'm Patrick Dooley. I'm the Senior Product Manager for GitLab's Ecosystem Group, and this is the 12.10 Kickoff. I want to touch briefly on the work that we're doing right now and the work that we'll be doing over the next couple of iterations. But I'd really like to focus on some changes that are being made to the ecosystem group and the scope that we are now going to have and some of the new and exciting work that we'll be adding to our portfolio of things that we work on. So real quick, let's jump into mass integration at a group and instance level. Over the last couple of iterations, we've been talking about the work that's been required to get this done. There were a lot of back-end changes. There's been a ton of work under the hood to get this ready, but we've just completed some end-to-end mockups that we'll be executing against. And over the next couple of iterations, we'll be rolling out these UI changes so these features will finally be available. And as a quick overview for those who may just be tuning in, this will allow you to integrate an integration with many projects. Whereas today, each time you want to integrate something, for example, Jira, you have to integrate it per project. This will allow you to integrate it at a group or instance level where those integrations can roll out to lots of places. So that's still in progress. We're almost there. We're kind of in the home stretch, and so that work will be wrapping up here in the next couple of milestones. We're hoping to see group level integration launched in 13.0, but everything is still up in the air right now as we actually get this work completed. So we're hoping to have some good news here soon. But meanwhile, we have some more interesting things to talk about. So over the last month, we have merged a new group contributor experience into ecosystem. And so that does a few things. We're still covering integrations, although that work has shifted slightly, and we'll get back to that. We're still covering the APIs, although we have removed SDKs from our scope. But we are now adding the GDK and front-end and UX foundations. And so let's talk a little bit about what each one of these categories is and then the work that we're doing, just as kind of a refresher, and that'll be more aligned with the work that we're doing going forward. So integrations hasn't changed much. We're still working on third-party integrations, but the goal previously was to kind of support all of those integrations. And instead, we've shifted our focus specifically to a handful of high priority integrations. So right now we're working on mass integration because it was the #1 request for Jira. We've also touched on Jenkins in a few places, but we're looking at addressing ServiceNow and Rally sometime this year. And then we have some considerations for other enterprise-focused integrations that we may touch later in the year. But the goal being creating new integrations that will drive new customers and create new value in places that we're not able to work in today. So things like ServiceNow are really important to customers who have compliance or change management needs. Rally is popular among enterprise customers for agile project management. So things like this are really important to certain sets of customers, and we're going to do more supporting of those features directly. Our API category will be shifting to focus on governance and guidance across the entire organization. So again, similarly, our goal previously was to kind of peanut butter ourselves and try to keep the API up and running across the entire application. But really, we've found that it's better when we just support individual groups throughout the company to get them able to produce their own APIs and support their own APIs. So this category will focus on creating best practices and refining those best practices over time so that we're all marching in the same direction. Now, the GDK is a new category for us. For those who haven't used it yet, the GDK is the GitLab Development Kit. This is what allows you to create a local development environment where you can work on GitLab on your own machine. So this is a really important tool. Every developer who is working on GitLab is using the GitLab Development Kit to run that environment and manage it. So this is a really important tool for both our internal GitLab team members and external contributors who may want to add code. Now, one of the things that's really exciting for me is pairing this with our APIs and sitting it next to integrations is a really cool move. for integrators, for third-party integrators who create integrations. Most recently, we had SourceGraph and WhiteSource, both in the last few milestones, have added integrations with their third-party products. They were having to use the GDK to open up our code base and create their own integration. So this is really exciting that we can have all of the different aspects of integrating with GitLab into one place, either contributing code directly, integrating via the APIs, or otherwise. Like, all of them are here in one place. To that end, we're also now the home of the front-end and UX foundations. So front-end UX foundations is where Pajamas lives. So similar to the GDK, Pajamas is the place where designers will do work. So this is a library of all of our components that are used inside of the GitLab application. So if you're looking to create new pieces of GitLab UI, you can use these components. So here are our breadcrumbs, for example, right? Like, here are guidelines around how to use those, and the actual view components are part of the GitLab UI library. So this is really exciting because we now have kind of an end-to-end view of contributing and integrating to GitLab. So the new group is going to be a little bit bigger. We're adding some new team members. We've got a couple more hires that we'll be making this year to also support all of these issues. But it's just a really exciting time as we grow our team and grow the scope of things that we're covering. So that's 12.10. We've got some great work that we're going to be doing around mass integration. We're hoping to pull that in and finish it out. And it's going to be a good time for our team to settle into some of these new responsibilities, get to know our new team members, and start driving forward with some of this new work. So it's going to be the best release ever for us, and we're super excited to do it. Everybody stay safe, stay home, and we'll see you next release.